Today we're at Kingston Russell Stone Circle in Dorset. It's part of the Avebury Stone Age landscape. A wonderful little stone circle standing a couple of miles from the road. So quite deserted. Well, I was here, I saw one couple come to see this. And obviously it was quite a long walk to get here, so it's an ideal opportunity to see a stone circle that's left alone. You might remember from our video of the grey mare and her colts. You park by the moot stone, an ancient Anglo-Saxon meeting stone where justice was dispensed, and you walk off down this rubble track, and be careful not to turn right. The instructions on the English Heritage website do appear that you follow the path to the right, but you don't. You'll end up somewhere totally different. You go straight ahead and follow down the hedgerow. After about a mile you come across this signpost, and if you turn left you get the grey mare and her colts, a 5,000-year-old chambered tomb. Standing today only the Sarsens at the front with a collapsed capstone and a hint of a curbstone around the mound, which is sadly diminished, but still a very striking chambered tomb and well worth a visit for a quiet contemplative spot with no real interruption. After that little pit stop you come back to this track and you follow it along the side of the hedge, and it's a beautiful walk. Even if there was no Stone Age landscape or Iron Age landscape to enjoy, no ancient historic sites, it's still a wonderful walk through some of the most beautiful countryside in southern England. And eventually you reach the Kingston Russell Stone Circle. It's sometimes called the Gorwell Circle, and if you saw our video on the grey mare and her colts, you'll know that we parked just outside the entrance to the road to Gorwell Farm. It's a gentle rolling undulating land about a mile in from the sea, and here they built, probably in the Bronze Age, the Kingston Russell Ring. It's part of a tradition of stone circle construction. Now, again, we've been to quite a few stone and wood circles, or the stones of Stanton Drew. There are dozens of stone circles around the UK and also on parts of mainland Europe. But this circle's interesting. It's smaller than a lot of the stone circles that we might visit. It's the same kind of scale if you saw our video of Arbor Low, and it's in a similar condition, but Arbor Low's inside a henge. Remember when people talk about Stonehenge, they often think that that's the name for the stones, but really it's a stone circle inside a henge. This is different. There's no sign of a henge here. It's purely a ceremonial stone circle. There's no capstones, no trilithons. They are much smaller Sarsen stones, probably inspired by the fact that there are smaller stones in this area. If you saw our video of the Devil's Den, quite near to Avebury is a field of stones that you can just lift up and take away and build a stone circle. Well, not these days, it's private land and they wouldn't appreciate it, but there was a ready source. Even though Stonehenge, yes, someone's going to say took a lot of their stones from Wales and they came from far and wide, but this stone circle is smaller and more intimate. It's a more local affair. There's no evidence of people travelling thousands of miles to visit Kingston Russell Stone Circle, whereas Stonehenge, remains have been found of people who were born there, moved to Germany, came back. There was a lot of travel, there was a lot of transit. It was close to the Ridgeway, the ancient roads across England. It was clearly a place of pilgrimage. Perhaps this was pilgrimage, or perhaps this was more akin to a local church instead of a cathedral. It's a small, oval, intimate circle. Reminds me a little bit of the Rollright stones. And one of the blessings of this particular stone circle is that it's about 2 miles from the road, down this track. It's accessible, it's beautiful landscape. You occasionally sneak a peek of the sea there in the distance between the hills. There's a gentle breeze, there's beautiful landscape. But it's not very well known and it's not very well visited. So it remains more pristine, and these were places of worship, these were places of ceremony and ritual. And ceremony and ritual normally comes with contemplation and a degree of silence. Maybe there might be music, there might be sounds, but those rhythms would be rhythms of worship, not rhythms of disruption, which, so often in the modern world it's hard to get away from the hubbub of people and cars and planes and all the noise that surrounds us. Whereas here, this is a quiet little spot where you can hear the birds sing and hear the wind in the trees. And we are nearly there. It's just behind that hedge ahead of us. But it's a beautiful spot to find a stone circle. And it's been well preserved, respectfully kept and maintained. It's a little island of the Stone Age sitting in modern day Dorset. It's about 190 metres above sea level, but it's very close to the sea. It actually overlooks Avebury. You can see elements of Avebury from here, and it's a beautiful little spot, I think. So I looked into it, and the Gorwell Circle, the alternate name, doesn't seem to come from an ancient name for the area. It seems to come from Gorwell Farm, the farm that we saw when we first parked up. And actually, as you walk along this hedge over a small valley, you can see the farm itself. It's a scheduled monument and it's protected. It's actually English Heritage Site, but it's not ticketed. You can visit at any time, although I would suggest coming in daylight, or there's a fair number of trip hazards. When you first reach it, there's an old sign and an English Heritage plaque, which suggests that it's in front of you, which is rather worrying in this ploughed field. I'm sure there was a reason for the signs to be placed here and not actually next to the monument, but I must admit it's lost to me. Now, the drawing looks pretty round, whereas even from the ground it doesn't look very round, which did confuse me. And here you see, just the other side of the hedge from where the sign says it is the stone circle. And yes, it is quite enveloped in grass. It is written in several guides that you're better off looking at the stone circle in spring or autumn when there's a bit less grass. I was late spring, let's say, and here were the only people I saw on this whole trip enjoying a rest at this ancient sacred site. And it gives you a bit of a sense of scale. The stone circle is small compared to many, and the stones are a lot smaller than you often see at some of the more famous sites. but I think it's a beautiful site to visit. It comes from the 3rd millennium BC, and there's been a lot of economic and technological change. Although there have been thousands of years of continuity, by this time long barrows, causewayed enclosures and cursuses, which we'd seen a lot of in the early Neolithic, well, they'd stopped building them, and they started building circular monuments. They started building earthen henges, timber circles, stone circles like this. And possibly there's a change in belief system, a reinterpretation, a seasonality, a circularity, and a different interpretation of the universe. But it led to these stone circles, and probably a third of the stone would have stood in the ground, and some of these stones have been broken. But now they've worked their way out of the earth and they've tumbled over, and they lay roughly where they were placed. You have this oval, almost shield-shaped structure, a symbol laid on the floor. Mike Pearson, he talks about how the stone circles were for the dead and the wooden stones for the living. So that would suggest there may have been a wooden circle nearby, but after 3,000 years there's little in the way of remains. Unless it's a significant archaeological site, they're unlikely to be discovered, whereas stone circles last as long as the local people don't drag them away. And Kingston Russell is actually the largest of the surviving Dorset stone circles. There's 9 possible examples in Dorset, and they're all located within 5 miles of the sea, and mostly they're on chalk hills west of Dorchester in a line along the coast, almost like a ritual path. And this is the largest and most significant of them. It's believed these starsons came from a valley of stones, much like the one we saw in our video on the Devil's Den. There's a similar valley near to Little Bredy, and it's, I think, an interesting stone circle. It's possibly linked to some earthen henges in Dorset, but there's not too much evidence. There's room for interpretation and thought on the history of this landscape, because there does seem to be a link to the sea, to the height above the sea, the ability to see the sea, the link between earth and sea. Yet they're not that close, are they? They're close enough to see it, not close enough to smell it, to sense it. There's 18 stones in a circle that's roughly 24 by 27 metres, and there was some records back in 1815 of some of the stones still standing, but certainly by the beginning of the war they were all laid down, and that's how it's been maintained. There has been a suggestion that the ring was graded in height, with the tallest stones in the north and the smallest in the south, so that there was a partial enclosure of the space, but also a kind of pointing towards the sea. And this is where it sits in this lovely landscape. Still a beautiful spot today. And somewhat of an oddity, this stone circle has never been excavated. It sits on private land, but it is under the protection of English heritage. it's just, I guess, never made the list for a full-on excavation. Well, I hope you enjoyed our visit to Kingston Russell Stone Circle as much as I did. And if you did, if you made it to 15 minutes, hit that subscribe button, because you obviously appreciate ancient history. And we'll be back on Saturday with a very different historic site.